our main talk today is mob programming, how to learn a new programming language in an hour. So let's see how that really works.
Thank you for clapping. You heard this thing from improv? It's like clap for yourself or no one else will. So we're gonna try this out. We're gonna learn a new language in an hour. We've done this before. It's definitely gonna work this time too. So just a little bit about me. Hi, I'm Richard Kasparovski. I'm an author, a teacher, a coach. I do a lot of work with I'm focused on high performance teams and team building. I do a lot of work with software teams. That's my heritage. I think I've been writing Java code since like 1997. I think I was a member of this group. I don't know if it was in the late 90s, early 2000s. I think, these are all things I think, so you can decide whether I'm telling the truth. I think my name was on the program at a Java 1 in the early 2000s. I don't remember all these things, but it could be true. We're going to do some things tonight that are drawn from the traditions of Agile software development. And I've been thinking about Agile software development lately. And an interesting thing about Agile software development is a lot of people don't talk about the software development part of Agile software development. So tonight we're going to put the software back into Agile software development. And we've got my contact info here. You're welcome to ask questions as we go. You're welcome to ask me questions afterward. It's all good. We're going to do two techniques tonight to learn a new language pretty quickly. One of them is called mob programming. The other one is called coding koans. I want to get a feel for us in the room. Oh, here it is. Did you bring your audience interaction device with you? Everybody, you got the message, you got the email, right? You're supposed to, did you bring one of these with you? Okay, this is your audience interaction device. Aim your audience interaction device at menti.com. You can do that. Mine seems to be working in this room.
Do we need to be connected to the network?
Mine is connected to the phone network. That seems to work for me. Or you can connect to their network. Their network is called Chewy Guest, and it just works. What's your experience with mob programming? What's your experience with coding koans? I'm guessing that for the people in this room, your experience ranges from never to always. It's just a guess. I'm not really sure, but somewhere between never and always. You've never done mob programming, or it's all you ever do. You've never heard of coding koans, or coding koans are your life. Where do you fall on the spectrum for mob programming and coding koans? So this looks like it's new for a lot of people. Cool. All right, this is my official diagram of mob programming. Have you heard of pair programming? Yeah, you've heard of pair programming. You've got two people doing a facilitated technique to write really great code together. Pair programming comes from the tradition of extreme programming. It's one of the practices in extreme programming. One of the ideas of extreme programming is if it's good, do it all the time. If it's good, turn that up, do more of it. Writing code is good. Well, code review is good. Yeah, code review is really good. Code review sucks though, because you do code review like after a month of writing code and people find problems and you have to go fix the problems, but you don't remember the code anymore. It takes a long time to fix the problems. So instead of that, well, because code review is good, you do it all the time. You have a partner writing code with you. You call it pair programming. But pair programming is good. So how could we get even more of that good? Well, we get more people writing code together at the same time. So instead of one brain, instead of two brains, and the genius of two people connected together writing code, you've got the genius of maybe 5 people, 5 brains connected together writing code in a facilitated way so it works really well. A guy named Woody Zuhl has been popularizing mob programming. He was the manager of the first team in the world that, as far as we know, was doing this about 4 or 5 years ago. What Woody likes to say is mob programming is about taking all the great minds, having all the great minds write code together at the same computer at the same time, in the same place. Okay? And that same place might be in a room or it might be in a virtual room. But they're writing code together at the same time. The ingredients of mob programming are a group of people. We've got a group of people here, so I think we can do this. We've got a screen. Hey, look, we have a screen. We got a table and a computer on that table. Well, we have a simulation of a table here, and we're going to do this together at this simulated table. There are 2 roles that people play when they're mobbing together. The first role is driver. Driver is the person at the keyboard with control. The metaphor is like you're in a car, right? And when you're in a car, there's only one person driving at a time. Only one person's hands are on the steering wheel. Only one person's body is at the controls. Same thing with mob programming. Only one person is ever at the controls at the same time. You never reach over and grab the controls. That would be dangerous. We might crash. Somebody could get hurt. Nobody's going to get hurt while we do this tonight. The other people are called navigators. This is the metaphor before we had navigators like this in our pocket or hanging from the windshield. The navigators give advice on what the driver should be doing, what code the driver should be writing, what approach the driver should take to solving whatever the problem is that we're trying to solve together. So there's my official diagram of what mob programming looks like. Now, what about coding koans? Have you ever wondered, what is the sound of one hand clapping? We don't have to wonder. There is a sound. Okay. That's a really silly question. It's not even really a koan. This is what a koan is. A koan is a story, it's a puzzle. I'm not a Buddhist, but apparently there are Buddhists who use these puzzles, who use these thought puzzles or these thought training tools to give them something to think about, something to meditate on, maybe something to learn. Coding koans are just like that. They're little puzzles that you use to learn something new. In this case, it's going to be a programming language. The next thing we need here is a group of volunteers to sit up here with me. But hold on. So I've got a bunch of language choices. I picked 5 languages that we might use tonight. I picked these languages from this website. I don't know how you pronounce that. Maybe you pronounce it like Tiobe or Tiobe. Maybe you just say Tiobe. This month, they had a list of the most popular programming languages. It's drawn from GitHub and Google searches and stuff like that. I did my best to pull from that list from the top. So these are the most popular programming languages, according to Tiobe, that have koans that are easy to find. Here's a website with koans that are easy to find. So I used that. Tonight, our choices are Java, Python, C++, JavaScript, and Ruby. There are other languages with koans, or people have just started developing koans for them. There aren't enough for it to be interesting. For an hour, we could probably solve them in 20, 30 minutes, I don't know. But there are a lot of koans for Java, and Ruby, and Python, and some of the other languages. Okay, we need a volunteer mob programming team. For the rest of this talk to happen, we need 5 volunteers to sit up here at this simulated work area, which is an actual work area. If that's you, come on up. Okay, what language should we do? Pull out your audience interaction device, place your vote for the language that we're going to learn or practice tonight. It looks like Python is the winner. All right. Fortunately, I brought a Python programming environment with me, load it up with the koans.
Was one of these options not pre-programmed or preset?
Was one of these options not preset? Of course not. I came with 5 programming environments ready to go. Press tab to the PyCharm. All right. So we've got PyCharm running. I'm using the tools like IntelliJ, the JetBrains tools. We got PyCharm running here. I'm running this on a Mac. This works everywhere. It's not platform specific. It's not IDE specific. I just happen to be a teacher and they give me a free license for all the JetBrains tools. That's a good deal. And then I do things like talk about it in front of an audience like this and tell everybody how cool they are, and you get to see them. Here's how these koans work. To execute the koan, you go to the terminal window, type /run.sh and press enter. And we've got some interesting output here. You know how to control this. Can you make that full screen and like pinch zoom it so everybody can see? Okay, so no pinch zoom here. This is something we're learning. Now this is interesting. Remember what you learned. So this is okay, we'll just go with this for now. Says thinking about asserts, test assert truth has damaged your karma. That doesn't sound good. You have not yet reached enlightenment. Okay, so we'll strive for that. Please meditate on the following code. We'll get there, don't worry. And it's got the file name, it's got the line number, it says something about the code. It says we've completed 0 koans, that's 0%, in case you didn't know that 0 was 0%. And 0 out of 37 lessons. Okay. Oh, we are now 302 koans away from enlightenment. That sounds like a long way to go. We might be here for more than an hour. We'll see. Oh, beautiful is better than ugly. Okay, nice to know. Can we get the project view back up here too? The structure? Yeah, cool. Okay. Now, the way mobbing works is like this. We've got one driver. We've got many navigators. The driver is going to sit here until the first koan is solved. The navigators are going to help. You can think of this as the inner circle here. This is like a bubble of safety for people learning Python together or practicing Python if they already know a little bit. This is the safe zone. Everybody who's here is awesome, totally safe, learning Python together. This is the inner circle. All the rest of us, we're the outer circle. We're observers. We're mostly going to keep quiet because when you're the driver, having 30 people shout suggestions at you really isn't helpful. Imagine having 30 backseat drivers while you're driving your car. It's really not helpful. Even one navigator is really helpful. Even more than one can be a little challenging. So what we'll say is one of you will be the primary navigator. We'll say primary navigator sits here, just like we're in the car together, driver, navigator. Navigators will give clues about what we think we might do. Primary navigator might adjudicate or decide which clue is best and pass it on. Driver, as you're typing or thinking, it also helps to think out loud. Talk about what you're thinking as you type so the navigators understand where we're heading as well. Once we solve a koan, everybody will stand up and rotate. What is that? Everybody will shift left. And if you fall off, you're going to rotate over there. Okay? So this is the setup. Here's the koans. Here's the mob programming team. You're on. What do you think you should do?
So I think I should go to this file. Oh, wait.
Oh, I'll just hold it for you.
So I think I should go to this file that's in the terminal now. Do I go without asking about the navigators, or I just do it?
Do I go with that? Asking the navigators, just do it? Just do it. And narrate what you're doing. Think out loud.
So I'm going into the file, and I know that this says line 17 in test assert truth. So test assert truth is going to be somewhere in here, and there it is. And line 17 right here. And that is self assert true is false with the uppercase F because this is Python. And this says that at least 2 spaces before inline comments. I don't know if that's why it didn't run, but I can add a second space. But this says assert true, and we're passing it false, which most likely means that we're just wanting to change it to true. Does the inner circle agree? Then I will change it to true.
Good.
And this is true. Truest. There we go. So now, as the driver, I think I should run this again. And that would be run sh. And now I'm still not enlightened. But I have one. I've completed 1 code.
All right.
So
Exactly.
I have 301 now to go. So I will now click this
All right,
file.
pause there. Also, can you pinch zoom that so more people can read it in the room? Yeah, that looks awesome.
How did you do that?
Pinch, like you would do a photo in iOS.
Yeah. All right, now we finished 1 koan. Koans are these things, they're these little puzzles that you meditate on your path to enlightenment. Everybody in the mob, everybody in the room, meditate on what you just noticed. We're learning Python here. Many people in the room want to learn Python. That was the majority winner. Many people in the room don't know Python, including me. What did you learn so far? There was 1 lesson here in this koan. What was the lesson for you? Meditate for a moment. What was the lesson for you? This is a silent, quiet thinking activity. Don't say it out loud. And people here in the mob also do the same thing. Meditate on this koan. What did you learn? And people in the mob, if you think you learned something interesting, share it with us.
I knew where to start. Basically, I started the error message and then see where you go from there.
All right, let me just pass it down.
Boolean constants start with an uppercase letter.
I took the good ones.
Cool.
The answer is in the comment.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's uppercase. It starts with uppercase.
So I'm the manager, so I would promote the best practice of writing comments to my developers so they can help me understand the code.
All right, cool.
Oh, there's a video.
What? Oh, yeah. Oh, look, there's a cameraman. And in case the cameraman wants the screenshots, we're recording the screen as well. Cool.
I remember there was a video in the video, but yeah.
There's a link to the about us.
Oh, there's a video.
This video should help.
Isn't that cool? Oh, look, there's a video that we could watch if we wanted to. Okay, don't worry about that. That's this little keyboard. And what we're going to do here is we're going to change the driver. Here's the technique for changing the driver. Hands off the keyboard, hands up in the air. Everybody stand up. And shift left. And new driver. New koan to solve.
Okay.
Navigators, help her. Turns out being the driver is the easiest thing to do because all you need to do is use your fingers. And the drivers will be the brains and they will help you.
So we need to do it 23.
Same thing as last time. Change false.
So assert with message.
It should be true, so
Put it true. There.
got it.
So you want to go to terminal and run the cones again.
Towards the bottom.
Yep. And you can click inside instead of on there.
Oopsie.
Sure.
Just
There
click
he
in
is.
there and then just do up arrow.
Maybe up. Call the last.
Hey.
And
Yeah, we got
now we
two.
fix it and next one.
Cool. Yay. Okay, pause, meditate, introspect. Did you learn anything new from this, Cohen?
I don't know anything new compared to the last one.
Pass the mic down. Did you learn anything new from this, Cohen?
Assert either has a default argument for a string or overloaded version of the string.
Couldn't I say assert seems to be a boolean? Assert true is a boolean?
Answers are still in the comments.
Yeah, it appears that it can take multiple different number of argument strings.
Nothing new for me.
Okay.
Thomas.
Anything else? All right. Hands up. Make sure hands off the keyboard. Shift left. Next, Cohen. So we're just getting a feel for how the Cohens work. Third Cohen's meditate. Go.
Should I actually let them navigate? Or
Or if you know what to do, just do it and think out loud.
So who navigates now?
So,
You're the primary.
so you want to see what the new error is.
yeah, so I just clicked on it and then it brought me up to here.
So line
Test fill
21.
in value, they said.
Let's fill in values.
Right,
So I guess
So-
you want to put in
You
two?
want to put in 1 plus 1
You want to
there.
put in two? You want to put in two, don't you?
Put a comment of why you wrote 2.
So you put a comment of, no, I'm not doing
Why
that.
you wrote 2.
I'm ignoring the
I'm
manager.
gonna remember
And then
tomorrow.
there's the up arrow
Yeah.
down there.
I'm gonna say no.
It's really. All right. Awesome. It passed. Pause, meditate. Did you notice anything new?
It seems to be checking that the numbers are correct.
Pass it down.
That assert equals for something that is checking equality for.
That's right. I guess it's a unit test, isn't it? Like a test-driven development type of statement.
I want to see what it does if you put another number. Not 2. That's the
Right.
now it's questioning my programming and math.
I'm curious about the slide.
Ooh.
Nice.
Curious about the self.
Oh. Curious about self. Interesting. We don't know anything about self yet.
You still need part of it.
Yeah, I did.
I'm wondering how using underscore fits the syntax of showing up red, so underscore some kind of special value or special key in Python.
What about this underscore? That's weird.
Like,
Yeah, try it.
Is it?
I think we got it. All right, cool. Stand up, shift left. As you're watching, we'll pause after everybody's had a turn being driver, and we'll ask you to share what you've been noticing. So new driver, new Cohen. Wait, I'll hold it.
Okay.
You type.
What do you want? What? I think the rest of the team was supposed to decide what they want to type. Isn't that right?
So
Sure.
you can probably click the link to see what
Yeah.
error we have now.
This one right here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna, it seems like it'll bring you the winners there. Okay, so
So make the expected value.
So we see we have like
actual
another
value.
special
No
value
problem.
holder, placeholder underscores there. So you
You guys
can
not
probably
doing
replace
it.
that with what we
no,
expect.
it has mode.
Oh, so it has
So you see that red line? It's fine.
Okay, expected value, actual value.
Yeah, so it's the first def at the top. So because there's two of them that have the expected value. So the first one is what we're looking at. 37. Expected value is being set to whatever that special placeholder is in Python, which we still don't know what it is.
So we need expected value to be.
Yeah, so we need expected value to equal actual value. So
expected value can be
You're-
here.
We're doing it to 35, not 37.
How can you tell the driver to do exactly what you want?
click the two underscores, like select the two underscores, and type 2.
35. Yep.
So this one.
Yep.
Yes.
And then replace that with.
Right. Then they're gonna take out the
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you want to run?
Yeah. So you can go back to terminal, press the up arrow. You don't have to. There we go.
Okay.
Looks good.
So now that's
4.
kind of shifting.
Hey. All right, pause, meditate. Did you notice anything new? Take it, pass it down.
We can use variables and place that inside of our method, function, whatever you call it.
All right.
I think the underscore was meant to be blank. I think what would say, use these game shows to say fill in the blank such and such.
What's a method?
Question, what's a method? Ask your teammates.
No one wants to.
Worry for your life and be driving.
Method is a unit of work that you invoke, like in the context of Python or just for programming.
So take them like an answer so we can all hear.
So a method is like one set of instructions. You can think of it as like one set of things. Same thing. The words are it's complicated. It's the same things.
Okay, method same as function. Okay.
Sometimes a method is actually a member, whereas a function is a variable you can pass around that works like a method. But we're splitting hairs at that point.
All right.
It's like in math class, you could have a problem inside a problem.
Anything to add? Anything you noticed that you learned?
There's no keyword to define variables. You can just define a variable without any special keywords. And that underscores is most likely, I want to guess, some kind of null, nil, or just uninitialized number reference.
Okay. Anything? And it's okay if there's nothing. Yeah, okay. Everybody stand up and shift left. New driver. New configuration of navigators. Driver, if you want to just type, do it and think out loud. Navigators, feel free to help.
Navigate to the next error.
Yeah.
So on 46, expected value needs to be equal to the actual value.
Same thing.
Do the math. Oh, okay. So that's what I'm
Pressure's
doing.
At least we all know.
What happens if you make the actual value 2 underscores as well? Is that
Nice question.
maybe to test your
Yes.
Typing skills.
emptiness theory?
I cheated in Google that one.
Great.
Oh, there's 4 underscores. Oh,
Wow.
Whoa.
Let's try it. Come here and run it.
Quick. Hit up.
Oh, that worked.
Well, it comes in the change, but oh, it is. I didn't really see it.
But did it say we got more tones?
I think so.
5.
We got
Yeah.
1%, which is better than 0%.
Do you want to leave it like that? Or put it back how it was, which is 1 + 1? Up to you.
Let's use underscores for the rest of the.
You seem to have done something reasonable.
Yeah, right. There's probably more than one way of solving the problem. There or not.
You can do Control Z.
How about creating a new one? check if this is case sensitive.
Well, it's already read, so it's not gonna let you compile it. But we're running this.
What's
Give
right?
me the error.
Yeah,
Give me
A
the
is
error.
red. It's not gonna interpret it. It's gonna give you an error when you try to run it.
What is it not like about my A?
Because A, it thinks it's some kind of variable or a reference to some kind of variable. So
Single
it's something
quotes,
that
single quotes, double quotes. Which one's Python? It likes
Both.
single quotes. It auto completes its quotes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ooh.
it's because it expects you to
That's-
type quote and then the character because it's trying to be smart about it.
It can be very annoying. It's overestimating me at this point. For sure. Did it find out?
So do not even.
It subtracted 1 point from our successes.
Oh, maybe it's case sensitive, maybe?
It is case sensitive then, so we know that.
Because they both evaluate to a different code point.
Like, is it?
What happened if she made it an uppercase A?
Oh yeah, then it'll
See that? So we're back to five. It actually
So it can
subtracted one,
be
made
a letter. It just has to. It's just case sensitive.
So
Okay, so there is no.
Are you satisfied with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there is no variable type to these declared variables. Then they don't
Ooh.
have to be integer. They don't. They can
Ooh.
be words. They can be.
You're really good at this. Pause and meditate and learn one new thing stuff. Really? So say that again.
So I was just observing that the variable doesn't seem to have a set type. Like it can compare strings maybe and characters, of course, and numbers.
All right. All right. So something new we learned about Python. Anything else people have noticed about Python, the environment, the way we're doing this? Anything?
Oh, you can use letters. It doesn't have to be numbers.
That's it.
I guess the comments syntax is some kind of mix of snake case and camel case, and that single quotes don't evaluate to a char, but to an actual string. Well, actually, I don't know because it could evaluate to a char and still be equal, but it doesn't look like it. It's still single, but snake case and camel case is weird to me.
Snake case? Camel case? What? Okay. Stand up, shift. And this is your first time driving, right? And then you've already been driver. So after this, we'll have a special pause.
Do you want to fix it before we go on?
I mean, it's supposed to only
What's there
test
to
equality,
fix?
so even though it's not the original test, it still works.
We just changed the question.
Do you want to fix it back?
No, it's okay. I was just putting it out there. I just don't want it to come back and bite us later.
No.
Not have discussed it.
Okay, pause. There's a conversation here about should we put that back to how it was? It was 1 + 1 instead of quote a quote. Here's something really cool about mob programming. It's going to be your turn to drive soon, and when it's your turn to drive, you can do whatever you want. So even if this driver doesn't want to do it, you'll get your turn.
Okay. So are we going to change it back? Or?
Doesn't
That's
do
what-
does
that's what
these
you
functions
want.
share values?
So if you want to do what she wants to do, you can change it back. Okay. Next question. Okay, so
Yes, then you need test so it's work the same way as 5 + 6.
okay. So it tests a single functionality in isolation.
Here's another funny thing that happens when you're mobbing together. When you're thinking, you start to mumble. And people on your team can't hear you because you're mumbling. So try to think out loud, like really out loud.
Yeah, so it looks like assert is just a keyword because it's highlighted orange. And apparently, like it's not a function because we're not invoking it with parentheses or anything. Or I don't even know if that's how this works. But we do know that assert is taking whatever's on the right hand side as an argument. So you changed it to true, which most likely means it'll probably work, which means it was checking for a boolean on the right hand side. So you can run it. Let's see. Hey.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Pause, meditate, share something new that you learned, something new that you noticed.
Nothing yet.
Wonder if we can take more than one argument and see how that works.
Assert's a keyword, and true is still an uppercase T.
I'm gonna pass.
What is the self that we're passing in?
What is this self?
Which one? I
I
mean,
thought
what
that
line?
was us.
I think it's saying is it takes a Boolean variable as opposed to other types of variables.
Okay. Everybody has been a driver. You want to share a learning?
No, I want to share a question.
Oh.
What's the use of this? Like, what except true would be true in that sentence, in that statement of program? Assert true is the only thing that is
I think
true.
it's meant to show you that A, the assert keyword exists, B, that you can use it for asserting the truthiness of a expression that evaluates to a Boolean. And as you're writing code, if you're writing a function and you need to have certain preconditions met in your function, you create your Boolean expression and you attach assert as the keyword for it. So you can make sure that if a function's invoked, it's going to check your arguments first.
So if we hadn't written the word true, there could have just been a variable name and it would check if that variable is true.
Yeah, it could be if that variable is true, or if 1 + 1 = 2, or like any expression that evaluates to a Boolean.
All right. Let's all pause there. You all stand up, shift left. Everybody has driven once. This is a great point for us to pause. You can wrap around.
Thing to have new team members maybe, or have another group.
Okay, put off the board.
If somebody wants to tap out one of the navigators and join the mob, you're invited to do that. I want to make sure we finish this set of koans and see what happens when we finish a set of koans. So new driver, new koan. Let's do it.
So one thing I want to test before actually doing the next one is seeing if functions have to be snake case, because that bothers me. And so we're going to do this. Okay, so I think that runs. And let's try this. Did we change? Okay, cool. So it doesn't have to be snake case. It's just.
All right.
It's a convention.
So
Now, another part of thinking out loud when you're the driver is, oh my God, you did that in 2 key clicks. What were the keys?
Oh, so there's a key command in IntelliJ for selecting like characters. So I do Command G. Well, wait, not that one. There we go. Nope, that's the next. It's actually this guy. So you do Control G, and it selects the next character and creates a new cursor at each point where it finds that character. Then you do delete, but we still have all our cursors, so you can do Shift Arrow, so it selects the next letter. Then Command Shift U changes the case of that letter, so we now have camel case. And this is how I used to write getters and setters before I realized that the IDE can just generate them for you.
Awesome. All right, everybody remembers that, right?
Got it.
Okay. If you were here in the inner circle and you did it enough times, you would just start to remember it without writing it down.
Yeah.
Or when our current driver is the next navigator, he might just remind you, type this, type this, type this. Or you might take a note for yourself. All right, cool. Oh, and we just learned something new about Python.
Yeah. Yes. Now, we didn't do the cones, which is fine, but we can do that now. We click it, and it says something about the navel. Cool. Let's see. Oh, wait, that was the function I just changed. What is it mad about? I'm sure the answer's in these comments.
Stop taking the screen.
I'm so not used to the scroll direction. So
I'm just
it's,
surprised it works.
okay, so it's mad about type. It's stir, not type stir. Okay, so I think this is string, and us doing dot underscore underscore class means it's trying to reference whatever class that type is that we're calling dot on.
It's doing a get class on that string.
Yes.
We need to pass that. It's trying to do a get class on that name on the string, literal string,
Yeah,
and
so-
it's trying to find what.
So we want to probably do string dot class because this is the actual type itself. So string class should equal navel dot class, and then this is 2 spaces. I remember that from the first one. And then if we do run, didn't work. Because this is on the class. So
It's a type,
Just
not a string.
just take out underscore class. Try taking out underscore
oh, okay. Yes, I think you're right on that.
It's like a built-in.
Because that would be class of class. So then let's try this again. Oh yeah, and it works.
Woo!
class.
But before you leave, I think it's important that you do your single quote char test. And as a single quoted string, a string, since we have a.
What's println?
It's saying something's broken.
Well, you could just
Start
change
karma
the.
there.
What was the string we were just testing?
This was the one that we were trying to check if it was a char or not.
Right. So
Try navigating by line number or screen
Well, we're off
fulls.
screen now. Back where we were.
Okay.
There we go. If we just change naval
No.
to single quote
Oh
A,
yeah,
single
yeah,
quote,
yeah.
will it pass or will it fail?
Yes, you are correct.
Why did you take out naval?
Because if it's a char, it won't let you put multiple in them,
We're testing if single
Oh.
quote is any different from double quote from A.
and it's not. So
So-
single quotes and double quotes are interchangeable. Also, if
Can you-
it allows this and without turning red, what does it matter about? It says typo because okay, good enough.
Can you try triple double quotes? Just like
Okay, so triple double quotes I know is like multi-line quotes.
Let's pause on that. I guarantee there's a Cohen about this in your future.
So let me
Um,
fix this back, and then we can go into the
Run
next
it. Okay. This group pause, meditate. You all meditate as well. What's something new that you noticed?
So underscore class seems like it's like metadata. So basically somehow like a reflection, Java reflection kind of representation in Python. That seems new.
That actually accessing the underscore class property on the string class is like a meta reflection, is not equal. So the string class name itself is the constant for dot underscore class.
Right.
I'm still trying to absorb it, so just keep going.
I think you summed it up really well.
It looks like that it has to be double quotes. It doesn't work with single quotes in this case.
It worked with it.
It works with single,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work with none.
Ah, it doesn't work with none quotes, right?
Correct.
And we could easily test that.
We can test it. It's going to try to resolve a reference. It'll probably show
It's a
up red,
variable.
but it'll try to resolve a reference to naval, the variable, which is not
Yeah,
really
it
clear.
doesn't exist. You can just define it.
Yeah, okay. So it won't even run that code. It will not work with none quotes. Single quotes, double quotes, yes.
Is that not? Oh, one, two,
Unless you create a symbol named naval, a variable named naval. Yeah, okay. All right.
Wait, why
Mob.
are you saying it's damaged our karma?
It's because we're not complete, that's all.
Test double quoted strings or strings has damaged your karma. We haven't even gotten there yet. Ooh, everybody stand up and shift left. New driver. Let's see where the new driver takes us. Scroll this back to the shell prompt.
Just scroll down there.
Something new here. It says you have completed 2% koans, and 1 out of 37 lessons. Apparently we completed a lesson.
Strings.
Congratulations. Okay, new driver, let's go. New Cohen.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So it's checking for truthiness or equality. There's an instance, which is probably going to return a bool because it's comparing string, which is our variable up there that says hello world. It's checking its type against the string type, which is what we learned previously. Is instance invoking, that's probably going to give us a boolean, which means we want to assert equals true with is instance. So if you change those 2 underscores to true, that should work. I'm guessing.
Okay, we can try it. Spell. I'm not a Mac user. So try it?
Yep.
Flat is better. What's the flat is
Up.
better than nesting?
Something to reflect on.
Where are we?
It's there. Just scroll down in there. It's like there you go. Now up. Enter. Oop. 8.
Okay, a little meditation.
I think
Did you
before
notice anything new?
leave the driver's seat, you should attempt to convert the snake into a camel. See if you've successfully internalized the previous learning.
We can try.
So select the first underscore. And just
Just
there
change
you
the
go.
underscore.
Now do Control G. Now again, so you get the next
Oh,
one.
okay,
Again,
that is
1.
cool.
Keep going.
2 more.
Keep going.
Yeah.
2 more.
That's all I needed to see though.
Oh,
Then-
you
wait,
got
no, I
muscle
went too
memory.
far. So there's no way to go back. You got to start over. Or if there is a way to go back, I never learned it. So you have to like unselect, just click anywhere,
Okay.
and then go back, select the first one.
I know, but I don't want to get rid of them.
You like snakes?
I don't mind the snakes.
Okay, so
Okay.
select snake case.
Fair enough.
And you're the driver. You get to decide.
So you get to leave.
All right, new learnings.
That is instance is that pretty purple, which means it's probably a global constant function that's used, key function that's used throughout everything.
All right, new learnings.
Can I just say ditto?
Yeah,
I don't know.
and pass
There's
that
an
down.
awful lot of ways to make strings.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a lot. So when we fix, do we have to? Is there another set? No, we just did the first one. We just did the top line. Hello world,
Yes.
not goodbye yet.
Oh,
This
no,
point.
we're on another one.
Okay. Any learning?
You have something you want to say?
All right. All right. What we've done so far is we've set up a mob. This mob programming team has practiced mobbing. They've done 1 round through the team, plus a couple more driver sessions. We've gotten a look at Python. We've gotten a look at the IDE for Python. We're using PyCharm here. We have learned about assert and various assertion functions, methods. I'm not sure what they really are. There was assert true, there was assert equals with 2 arguments. There was assert with true or false, comma, a message. There was assert equals thing, or thing, and a message. We got into the second set of Cohen's, and we're learning about strings. We learned something cool about the IDE, this select something, control G, blah, 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 blah. Somebody wrote it down. I can't remember it. I would need to practice that a few times before I remembered. We've learned that it's difficult to change the size of the text in the terminal window. We've learned that it's easy to change the size of the text here. It's just pinch zoom. Was there anything else? Any other highlights from this learning here so far? What was it like participating in the mob?
Interesting.
It was good. It was interesting. This is where people go. What else?
Fun, I guess. It's a really generic answer, but
It was fun, I guess. Anything else? People who participated in the mob? What was it like driving versus navigating?
power. Sorry, I yelled that.
Powerful.
Being in control, I guess.
Yeah.
Being a team lead without a team, or no? You have a team, but I'm just digging a grave here. Never mind.
In front of everyone, so a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, taking in front of the crowd is the.
This is okay. You're also in the mob. This is a special situation. This is like we've got these awesome people in the world who are athletes, right? And people fill up stadiums and they watch athletes do their craft. It's kind of what we did here. We've got these awesome people joining this mob programming team. We've got a bunch of people set up in this stage, watching this awesome team at work. Wouldn't it be cool if we actually worked like that? People were applauding for you every time you did something. That's so cool. Oh. There's a plugin for.
There's a plugin for all the IntelliJ like suite.
Yeah.
Where as you type and like autocomplete finishes, like your score counter goes up, the screen starts to shake and like fireworks fire as you're still typing. If you slow down, like obviously it's like DDR but for code. I wish I could remember the name of it. I actually have it over there, but. Like if you type fast enough and like autocomplete without mess ups, like your screen just starts exploding.
Woo.
And like it looks like 4th of July.
All right, and as is the answer for many things, there's a plugin for that. All right, let's hear it for our volunteer mob team. Thank you very much. Okay, so this was a demo of mobbing, and you can stay here, you can go back to your chair. It doesn't matter. You're in a chair. It's very comfortable.
I think his is more comfortable. Are we blocking anybody?
No, I think you're fine. Back to your audience participation device. We looked at a few different things tonight. Mobbing, code koans, learning a new language. Do you have a takeaway from this? Most of you stayed. It must have been valuable, must have been worth your time, at least a little bit. What's your key takeaway? Use your audience interaction device to share your key takeaway. All right, so a bunch of people sharing their key takeaway. Code koans accelerate language learning. Definitely saw that here. I've done this previously at the Charles River Coding Dojo. It's like a software programming club for kids. I think I'm pointing in the right direction. We do it at the Log Me In office on Saturdays, various weekends, and various months. I've done this a couple times with the kids. They learned the languages super fast. I figured if we could do it with kids, we could probably do it with adults. Seems right more fun. Most people notice that koans are a good way to accelerate language learning. And you could do this maybe at your work, right? Just take an hour out of the day and learn something together in a group. Get a room with a screen, get a computer, let it for koans. Do it. And?
So I wanted to know, like, for the storefront team, since we primarily use Kotlin, when we get new hires, before they even get the project running, the first thing they do is they run through the Kotlin components. The first thing they do is run through the Kotlin codes, and until they complete that, we don't even work with them on getting, not work with them, but get them to check out the project and actually build the application. We're very much invested in using cones as a starting point for new developers or even anybody that's just learning a new language in general that we're using internally.
That's really cool. Wouldn't it be awesome if when you joined a new company, they asked you to learn something and they let you do it? Apparently they do that here at Sugar. That's pretty cool. Here's another idea. What if during your job interview, or what if you conducted a job interview to see how open people are to learning something new? You might do cones together during a job interview and see how open people are to learning. Since that's like 90% of what we do as software developers. We learn new stuff. Other people noticed it's easy to learn to practice a language. People noticed test-driven development is useful. I didn't say test-driven development once during this presentation, but a couple people noticed that that's what this was. And one person said, I can try mob programming with my team. Cool. Ask me for help if you want the help. And a few people came up with some other takeaway. I would love to hear what your takeaway is afterward. You can do stuff like this with your teams. Here's some ideas. Oh my God, look, there's a conference all about this. Wow, who put this slide here? It's coming up in 2 weeks. It's April 11th and 12th. It's way, way out there in Burlington, Massachusetts. Check out the website. There is public transportation, it turns out. I know this because I used to work in that building when I lived in Cambridge. You can get there. BobProgrammingNewEngland.com is the website. It's run by Agile New England. I'm on the board of directors of Agile New England. It's a really cool conference. You're going to love it. Turns out I have a newsletter. It's a monthly newsletter. I share news once a month about things that are going on with teams, with Agile teams, with high-performing teams. I also share things like discounts and upcoming classes. Turns out I have a free ebook that you can get on my website. Go visit my website. Sign up for the newsletter. The book, I brought a few copies of the book. I put a stack over there. I put a stack up here. If you'd like to buy a copy of the paper book, they're $10. It's honor system. I trust you. Take a book, leave $10 or that know it to me or something like that. It'll all work out. Oh, cool. Look, refactoring. Turns out that I'm the author of a refactoring class that you can look at on LinkedIn Learning. Maybe your company subscribes and you can just take all the classes on LinkedIn Learning for free. Check it out. And we're doing a live version of the class next week on Friday. Actually, like half a block away from here, I think. It's something like 313 Congress Street, so really close to here. You could use code MEJA for 50% off. 50% off? 20% off? I don't remember. There's still some early bird tickets available anyway for 50% off. So no matter what you do, if you think, if you like this Agile stuff, if you want to get more practice mobbing, that's what we're going to do at this refactoring class. It's just half a day long, so you could come in, you could tell your boss you're going to a class all day Friday. Come to the class for half a day, because it's a half day long class, and then enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. Don't tell your boss I said that.
But it's not evening, in the morning?
Yeah, this is morning. It's 8:30 to noon. A bunch of other classes I'm running. So we've got this refactoring class in Boston. I do a lot of a class that I call the Team Building Master Class. A couple of people in the room have been to that class. You can ask them what their experience was. We're doing one in Boston on June 12th. Also, June 24th, we start 3 weeks, a really wicked fast summer semester at Harvard Summer School. I created and teach this class at Harvard called Agile Software Development, where we're putting the software back in Agile software development. We're doing all the Agile stuff, including lots of code writing, lots of pairing, mobbing, test-driven development, continuous integration, continuous delivery, all the stuff. Building real products for real human stakeholders who aren't in the classroom. It's really cool. If that sounds like a good way to spend 3 weeks of your summer, I think it's a good way to spend 3 weeks of your summer. Check it out. Oh, and I love getting help from people. This is my request for help. I've never done this with adults before. That was interesting. What did you think about how this went tonight? Will you share some help with me? Will you share some feedback with me back to your audience interaction device? I'm asking you for help. Will you evaluate what we did here tonight? Give it a score from 1 to 10. 10 is really good. 1 is not that good at all. 10 is really good. Tell me what you liked about it. And tell me what else it would take to make what we did tonight a perfect 10. And that's it. I invite everybody to keep in touch with me, sign up for the newsletter, email me, text me, whatever you want to do. If you want to ask for help or advice, how you can do anything like this or anything else. You can ask me for help about anything. If you'd like to try this out with your team, just ask me for help. Try it yourself. See how it goes. Ask me for help if you want the help. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the people in the mob especially. Thanks to the people in the outer circle as well. Thanks a lot.